We're experiencing a little bit of difficulty with sound. Can you give us just a moment to get this cleared up so you can hear this? Okay. Thank you for joining us today. We were having a little bit of difficulties with sound. We're trying to get things lined back out. Today's professional development will be on online presentation tools, slides, Prezi, and Powtoon. This is going to be more of a walkthrough and take a look. Some of these things you've seen, some of them you haven't. Slides you've seen. It's one of your Google products from our GAF. It's our replacement for PowerPoint. The other two, some of you have you've probably seen at conferences. So moving on along. First thing we're going to take a look at is Google Slides. Now, with Google Slides, why, major question we have on a lot of stuff is why use it? Well, it's easy to use. If you've used PowerPoint over the years, pretty much the same thing. It's always with you no matter where you go. We live in Google now in this county, so wherever you go and log in, you have your presentations there with you. It's built for collaboration. So if you share a document with somebody, they can go in, they can work on it with you, and it has many usages outside of regular presentations. You can do live web announcements. If you notice on your school web pages and also on the Wise County web page, a lot of the announcements that pop up are done using slides. You can create certificates, collages, create games, all the same things that you can do using PowerPoint, you can do with this. Now let's go ahead and drop out of this slides for a second. This was done using slides. And take a look at this. You can see our slides here and how this was done. Just going to run you through some of the things. You've got all the same features that you're used to. File, edit, view, all this stuff is familiar. You'll find the same thing in your PowerPoint. Maybe some things are a little different. Like I said, we're not going to spend a lot of time with this. We're just going to take some looks at it. I want to remind you some key elements that will help you with it. I'm going to go ahead and create us another slide in here. The thing I was wanting to really look at with this, remind everyone, is insert videos. You can go in here and you can pull YouTube videos straight in. Do a search. It's going to come up. It's going to show you this. Write it and define my search any. Gives very wide base, a lot of musical stuff. But let's take a look right here. We're just going to add this for fun. And boom. Whenever you go into play, it's automatically going to be there in your slide. You can move it around. Another wonderful feature that you have within this, in the insert, is if you want to do images, it's going to work the same way. You can go out and do URLs or just import them. These are two things I just want to stress out of slides because, like I said, slides is just like PowerPoint. Works the same. Bonus feature is it travels with you. So we're going to move on ahead now to Prezi. Now, some of you may be familiar with it, some of you may not. Prezi is a wonderful tool. It's used for creation of presentations that have lots of motion in it. It provides you with online storage. It's free for educators, one of those key things. And it works on some different areas. When using this type of presentation, it will work with you and show you how different things are. It's full tutorials. Let's just go on and take a look. All right, whenever you come to the main page, the first thing you're going to want to do is go to Get Started. And you're going to want to come over here. If you don't have an account, this is where you're going to go to make an account. You're going to click here. And you're going to choose the EDU Enjoy. And then you'll go in and create your account from here. All you have to do is follow the directions, and it'll take you in. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to log in using my account that I've already got. And here you go. When we look at the Prezi, it's laid out pretty easy. This is my dashboard. You can see some things I've already got in here. It's showing everything I've ever messed with, all laid out. The best view, though, is to come down and use Created by Me. That way you can see the stuff that you are actually using. You have a whole folder system that you can create for storage, have my demonstrations, actual presentations, stories. Really easy to use. Create through here, click on plus. Now the thing is, this really doesn't come into play till you've been using Prezi for a while and you need to get organized after you've done some. So let's go ahead and move over and take a look at how we get started with this. First thing you're going to do is always create a new Prezi. When Prezi opens, it's going to move to a different screen. You notice it's opening up. First thing that happens is you will get a choice of templates. I'm going to move on along. I'm going to move from blank, just so you can see. What we have here is your basic Prezi layout. I'm going to enlarge this a little bit to make it easier for you to see. Okay. All right, using Prezi, you get into it, everything works in movement. You can see this all lays out right here. You get your whole left side here. This acts like everything in PowerPoint or slides. As you add frames, they'll go through here. Now, I talk about motion, and I made a mistake. I meant to show you something about how it actually looks when it's used. Let's do this. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, this does have some sound with it. Once it starts, I don't know if you'll hear the sound or not, but when it starts off, since this is a lesson on using this for the Civil War, it would start off with music playing right now, and we'll move to the next. And you can see the movement as it begins to go through. Imagine using this in a lesson. You'd be talking, moving through your slides. This would give you a different perspective with the students. By using motion, motion creates memory for students. And that's the big thing with this, is using motion to create memory for students so that they can remember what's going on in your lesson. As you can see, I did the layout like this one as a newspaper. You can make any layout you want to. I think I may have actually saw this somewhere else and liked the idea, and like all good things we do as teachers, I borrowed the idea. The teacher had actually made a newspaper and passed it out to the students. This I did just sticking stuff out there in the open, just so a person could see what it would look like. Inserted on this, you can't hear it, is sound. There would be strains of Dixie being played slowly. And there it is. Now you also have a full screen option that you can use. One of the nice things about this is, yet again, where this is online, this travels with you. Now the whole thing would be, how do you build something like this? Well, go back over here. Take a look. First thing that happens is you have to think of Prezi this way. I am scrolling out to show you this is the entire field you work with. Prezi works on the idea that you're working inside of a 3D area and that you're filling it in. You can use as much of the work area as you want to, or as little. Most of the time, people will pick just an area the size of this screen right here and add everything to it. So let's go ahead and do that. We've got this basic one starting here. You can go through and look at this. You can add text. You can change your background. If you use the template, you can use the template. But adding text is easy. You just click on the area, type in what you want, and go on. Now you've gone through and create the first slide in. You'll move to the next one. You have a choice of using brackets, rectangles, and this tells it where to zoom to. I'm going to go over invisible and move on. Now you can also come through and right-click in areas and get your different commands. Come up here to insert. You can add areas. I'm going to insert an image. It's going to give you a choice. It's going out to find a folder I already had some things in. I also have it do images. I'm doing customizations, and this will change your backgrounds. And these are ideas. One of the things that I really need to point out is when you start into something like this, is after you've played with it and learned how to use it, is you want to have a game plan going in. Right now, I'm just kind of showing some of the areas of this, how it works. As you can see, you can add more and more things to this. And I've added another frame, as you can see, came down here. Now this automatically gets a 2 beside it. You wonder why the 2? Well, you saw motion, movement, and the other. Well, these numbers denote your movement. Let's add something into there just so we'll have something. Let's add a YouTube video. Oh, sorry, on this one, unlike the others, you have to already go out and get the URL. My bad. We're doing 3 different ones. They all work different. Let's try and keep them straight. And there you go. You want to take this. We want to fit down. Now you think that's awfully small. How are they going to see that? Well, let's go ahead and do something here. We're going to move through the frames, take a quick look at it. 1, 2, and that's how it'll appear on the screen. When it moves into an area, it automatically will display it at a size that's seeable. Whenever you scroll back out, you get the illusions that I'm talking about of it being far away. You actually use this to hide things and move stuff around. If you look back on the Prezi that we did there, you saw how it moved around. I will bring another one up. That will show you the movement, and I'll open the edit so you can see the edit. All right, as you can see on this, there's a radar map. As it moves through, you'll get the idea, showing the different areas. We come back over here. You can see starting out, we've got our start, we've got that, and you keep adding different images or what you want to discuss, the different points, bullets, whatever, and it will move to them. We can add another one. You can even go within this one. We're going to insert some text. Just click in the spot. And then we'll come back over here. We'll click on the first one, and we'll click on the second one. We'll click on the third one, and you can see how it's going to move. Now, if you go in and you add more things to it, you can keep adding and adding and adding. There's no limit. You can also keep bringing in different things. As you can see, right into that, there are shapes and symbols that you can bring in. You can do searches and bring these in. This is a light Prezi. We'll choose that. You can bring in these different images. You can search for your images. It will pull them from Google. So if clip art doesn't meet what you need, you can go find what you'd like. And you can keep going. One of the things is I'm kind of pushed on time, so I don't have a lot of time to go through and actually create a Prezi for you, kind of walking you through the images. Now, to customize all this over here, you can go to advanced once you get into this, and you can go to theme wizards, and you can start building. Here over the last couple of weeks, there have been some changes in both Prezi and Powtoon that I was unaware of. So they have added new features, which is always great. And this is one of the new things they've added on how to do this. Wizard allows you to go through and set your colors and make your blocks and everything. But one of the things I'll tell you is starting out, one of the best things you can do is start with templates. The templates make life easy for you, and you can always modify them to fit your needs. Now, another thing to think about when you're doing these in the layout is the movement. One thing is try to keep things smooth. If you add lots of transitional type movements within this, which means if I came in and I had the idea of adding another frame, and we moved that frame, and we added in some text. And I came back out on this. And I hold the handle and I did this. What would happen moving from here to there? Well, it'll create a spin. If you put the spins in and you put lots of spins and they go real fast, there are people that can get motion sickness from this like they would a video game. So it's one thing to take into consideration when using this is the crowd that you're dealing with. There might be somebody out there. So I always kind of, I think, limit how much movement you put through on some of this. Have movement, but don't go overboard. You also have, when you do this, you can draw have your lines for your charts. I can draw a line. I can connect it out. An image, just like you can PowerPoint. You can do a lot of the same things. You just get add movement. One of the things is you can add background music into it. It has to be an MP3, and it will play in the background. You can also have it narrated. You can come through and you can insert narrations. By right-clicking on a frame and adding a file. The best way to create the file is to use a program called Audacity. Record it as an MP3 and add it, and when you click on that slide, it will begin to play. For anybody who's thinking of doing a flipped classroom, this is a great way of creating a lesson to have out there for the students where they move through it, they get the message, they go through what you want them to, and they go on. You can also use this as a teacher, say on the elementary level, you want to have an independent center. You can have this brought up, have students going over, and you can be telling them what to do, and they can be practicing the activity along with you. So there are lots of little things that you can do to use this. This is yet again one of those where your imagination is the limit. And if you'll hang out for a second, we've got a slight bit of difficulty. The mouse has stopped working. Okay, we've got it back. Yeah, it's going to continue working. Hopefully the battery will stay with us through the rest of this. Okay. One thing that you will find within Prezi is they have a lot of support within it for teachers. You can go in and they have tutorials, and all you have to do is go under Learn Support, and they have everything that will walk you through getting started. Now here's one of the neat things is not only do you have this, but you have your ITRTs. They will come in and sit down with you, and they'll help you work through this and help you make your first one if you decide to use it. It seems this one actually seems a little daunting when you first get into it, but it's actually really easy to use. Okay, let's take and go ahead. We're going to leave it at this. Like I said, this is just a walkthrough so you can kind of see everything. We're going to go on to Powtoon. Powtoon is completely different in one way when we get into this. It works very similar when you look at it as PowerPoint and slides would, but it's very intense with its animation. You can create movies with this if you want to, or you can create slide type of shows. Let's go on and look. When you get in, first thing you're going to want to do is create an account. And since I already have an account and I'm logged in, it's going to let me go there. Let me log out so you can see this. For EDU, you're going to want to go there and you're going to create an account through this. This will allow you to create a classroom account for free and will give you all the benefits and perks that it entitles. Powtoon is yet again one of the companies like Prezi and the others that love to have teachers use their stuff, and they give free accounts for educators. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to log in. And when I come in, it's going to bring me to my dashboard. Your dashboard is where everything that you've made shows. Now, you can see that I have some stuff right here. To give you an idea of what the different things are I can do, I will run you through some of these. First one was one of the first ones I ever did. And we have a bad gateway. That means something isn't right on that. Let's try again. This one was made as a movie, so it will play straight through. There would be sound with this. There would be music playing in the background. This was meant to get everybody excited during your training to move on a move that we were doing to Trouble Tracker when we used it to find out, or for teachers to log their problems for the technicians. As you can see, the animations it adds in there. You could also have, it would also have voices going saying help, help, help. But that's just a little example right there. Another example of using this from the classroom. This was one made real quick for a flipped classroom. You wouldn't necessarily have to have it as a flipped classroom. You would be getting the Mission Impossible theme music going on this. Now imagine taking something like this. This is how students would log in to get their lessons they were going to do for the day. Nice way to create an activity for them, no matter what the grade level. But you can imagine you'd be adding more stuff to it. So you get the general idea just from seeing those of what it can do. And for straight up presentations, let's try that again. Okay, this one's not continuing to load. It looks like it's froze up, so let's move on along. And we'll talk about a few things here. You can see things like edit, collaborate, and view. The collaborate won't work in the educator's view. That's one of the part of the paid subscriptions. So if you do a paid subscription on this, you can collaborate and share this directly out and work with others. That's one thing I did forget to mention with Prezi is you can collaborate in it by sharing the account with somebody, and you can both be working simultaneously. Years ago, when Daniel Vanover and I first found Prezi, we actually created a Prezi in our grad school class, sitting side by side on two separate computers, both of us working on it. And I can honestly say that going back on Prezi has changed a lot and gotten a lot better since it first started. Now, coming back to Powtoon, it's a great tool. And I'm just going to go straight here to the demo. I brought this, created this one to start with edit. And here we go. When you get in, first thing you're going to notice is that the layout is yet again very similar to everything else. On the right hand side you have your frames, your panels. You can add to those, but let's just go ahead and start at the top. They have their quick menu, so that you navigate and move along. Notifications. Here's where you do the naming. Now, like everything else on the internet, it saves as you go along. But if you've done something you want to save it right then and not wait for that automatic save it has, you can go ahead and click there so that you feel safe in keeping it with you. The edit will let you do certain things like right here. If you're those most valuable of tools, your undo and redo buttons. You have your preview mode, which when you have something created, you can bring this up and it will show you what it's going to look like. Let's go ahead and do this anyway. And you'll get this pop up from time to time. And after you've done this, look at it, you can X out and go back. Now, simply to do this, you have your options right here about your slides. You can duplicate a slide. You can clone objects to a new slide from an old slide. You can just add a slide, or you can remove a slide. I added that one. I can remove it. Let's go ahead and just give a choice of making this a slideshow or a movie. It depends on what you want to do. If you want to be able to move through it slide by slide yourself, as in the classroom we're doing a presentation, you want to choose slideshow. If you want to run as a movie or runs continuously, you'll choose movie. As far as adding slides, you just keep adding right here, like I said. Or you can come down through here and add new slides, or you can add slides with a layout. I'm just going to add a new slide. Go ahead and have this. And you can come through if you want to add anything else. You decrease the size a little bit. Well, just work only on the zooms. I want the actual page. All right, hang on. We're having a little bit of difficulty getting it to show, but there it is. When you take and have this, all you do is come over here. This is where any of your characters will be. You have multiple different characters. You can put them in different poses. You can swap them out. Add. And change their pose. Now remember, this is just one of many templates. You can see the animations going through here. The layouts are the same no matter what template you use. As far as where everything is, if you want to add text, click text and start typing. If you want to add a different background, just click on background. You can move it along. So if you're creating a story in your presentation, you can do that and move along. I'm going to jump out for just a second of this. I'm going to go back over here, and we are going to go through the create so you can see all the different templates that there are. There are multitudes of templates you can come through. You can choose an area that you want to be in. The one I used for the flipped lesson was right here with the mission pack. Now let's take, say you want to do something with that. You just click on the mission pack and preview it. It'll take you through it. Show you all the different things that can go in it. If you want to use it, you click on go. So like I said, there are tons of these out there. And inside any demo that you do, you can always add stuff you can change, and you can add more effects. So just looking at this, you can see there's also sound. And one of the things that they do stress from the company itself, and when you go to their main page and you log in for the first time, is they actually have you say, make an outline, a storyboard, what you're going to do, so you can move right through it. You can add voiceovers and everything like that. All that's done through using the sound here on the right. You can have more videos within the. You can have video within the video. You can change your canvas, and here's your information. Just looking at these, you've had a quick overview and look through these. If you have any questions, contact your ITRT. They'll be more than happy to sit down with you and work with you on these and think of the possibilities that you have with these. At the end of this, please remember to do the survey so that you can get your certificate. And I'd like to wish everybody a happy evening. Go out and enjoy the sun. Oh, to get to your survey, be sure to go to the email that you were sent this morning and use that. Either that or go to the Wise County homepage. Going for staff, technology training, school trainings, and right here. Just click on that and fill it out, and you will get your survey, or you will get your certificate. Thank you, and have a great evening, everyone.